Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my new video where we are going to be doing a gameplay video. We're going to be doing a bit of Brand in the bot lane. I think he's one of the better supports you can play at the moment. I don't know why she's trying to take so many trades with me, because I had the minion wave. But yeah, why I think Brand is so good in the current meta is he is really strong with the recent changes where you do not need the E to be on an inflamed target for it to spread, so it can just set up some really easy combos for you. Also, what Brand can do quite well is he enables champions with a bit of a weaker lane phase, like Vayne, to really lane at a decent rate. Now this is a little bit of a rough early game. We got invaded. I wasn't watching. So let's see if we can do a little bit of a recovery. I don't feel too bad about this lane because Vayne does really well into Ezreal. Get a nice easy Dark Harvest proc there because of our really nice range. They're a hyper aggressive bottom lane too, so we should be able to do some work once we hit 3. I wish this Ezreal would come up for some autos. Wow. Okay. If only this Ezreal would E into me. I think we could get him in. He's playing aggressive enough where it seems like he probably is going to E into me. See if yeah, see, that's what I really like about the new E. It increases the range as well. Nice. We should be able to get a nice little double kill here. Another really great thing about playing Brand in the bot lane is you're definitely able to you're going to be focused quite a bit, so it's going to free up your hyperscaling ADC in a couple of ways. First of all, you're able to provide a little bit of lane pressure with your poke, and then second, you are going to be the focus in a lot of these different team fights, so you can just look out for these things. Now obviously Brand does work pretty well with things that do poke too, like an Ezreal lane, but he particularly enables champions like Vayne and Twitch, and even something like an Aphelios that struggles a little bit in the early game. So always try and pick Brand in good spots. Now Brand is really good into mage supports because you do outrange them quite a bit usually with your W. And whenever it's a mage versus mage lane, it usually just comes down to range. Damn it. This guy's just looking to dodge this whole time. It's fine. Now, Brand usually has a bit of mana issues, but with Presence of Mind, it really makes up for that quite a bit. Usually when Sonas are casting the Celerity, it means they... Alright, we'll get the W down. Really seems like, yeah, nice. Yeah, so this is a relatively easy lane because they're playing really aggressive, and when people are looking to chase you down, they very, very rarely are dodging. They're running in the fastest possible way to get to you, and that is going to mean a straight line. And that is really what you do not want to do against a Brand, because he can be so insanely punishing if he lands his skill shots. A lot of the times as well, people don't really respect Brand's overall damage, particularly in lower elos. It's kind of why I made this video, is because I think that he's one of the best low elo support stomping champions in the game. And you're able to carry pretty much at any point of the game. You do not have to be some sort of... You don't have to be like a lane hero, like a really good Blitzcrank or a really good Alistar. You're just going to really stomp them quite a bit. As we could see in the all chat from this Ezreal is already calling game. Yeah, he did get counterpicked. Vayne is a really good pick into Ezreal, and they really threw kind of the lead they got. Now we got invaded level 1, before I started this video, and I just died randomly because I was setting up the recording. And Sona got the kill, and she just really hasn't been able to do much with her extra bit of gold resources. She was just able to get an early tier, and that's not really going to help too much. So we get a nice early Leandries. Now I'm going to be focusing on poke this game, but if you're focusing on really just getting a strong team fight, the best first item is Rylai's to provide your team a bit of CC and a bit more utility coming out of it. But since we're snowballing so hard, I just want to go for maximum amount of damage. Looks like we got a Master Yi with no flash, so he's a brave mid Master Yi point. And if you're wondering what the elo it is, I think this is around a Plat 3 elo. I'm not playing this obviously on my main Diamond account just because don't really play Brand too often, but I'm looking to pick him up again after his changes. I think they're so strong. If you don't know what they are, the E got changed a bit where it will always spread. The target doesn't have to be a blaze, and the R can now bounce off of you, so which is it's really going to allow him to be a bit more of a soloing. He can do better in 1v1s. I don't know what this Yi is doing, man. Is it Sona going mid lane or something? Or they just flat up AFK? I really want this level 6. That's just when you get stupid strong. Now Sona's just roaming. Looks like Sona's going mid lane, which isn't going to be good because you are going to get that. He's going to check this bush with a Q. Hopefully when he sees he doesn't hit it, he maybe comes up a little bit. Maybe look for a max range Q farm, and then we can throw a WQ max range combo for a stun. Probably should have E'd before I threw out that Q, but I just wanted to get as much damage off as possible there. I'm just looking to stack up my little bit of passive, maybe bait the Ezreal into coming out a little bit more. I'm going to look to just throw out my ults and my ignite on him on the next minion wave. I just want the minion wave to be around so he can get hit with a couple of bounces, because I obviously don't want to be there to provide that bounce. Looks like we might be getting roamed on, but I feel pretty comfortable even in a 2v3. Oh, looks like Yi's coming. Yeah, exactly what I thought was going to happen. It's not like he's going to... Well, that's really unfortunate. He looked to BM that Ezreal a bit, but then he flash shielded away. Oh, it's pretty fucking funny if you ask me. Just want to push this wave under tower. I'm at pretty low health, but I have so much damage. The amount of damage Brand gets... And he's definitely dead there. And I knew that the Ivern was around. So, again, the benefits of Brand really coming to show here. How you're able to bully a lane, get a hyper carrying champion, a lot of lane presence and bully power, access to more resources in the early game, as well as you are taking a lot of pressure off them because you are going to be the target. Just waiting for our Leandries. Grab a sweeper since we upgraded our Frostfang right here. Now, a lot of the time when you're playing Brand, you want to wait for the enemy champions to try and dodge around a bit, because everyone knows his basic playstyle of setting you ablaze and then trying to hit you with the stun and then finishing with the passive proc. So I'll show you on maybe the next target that looks to dodge out some of my W's or my stuns coming out of my Q. See what we can do against this Yi. It's kind of a hard target to 1v1. Maybe we can throw a WQ from Fog. So he's running from me because he probably thinks Vayne is around, but I don't know. I guess we'll see what this Yi's looking to do. Another great thing, and the reason why I think this is one of the best premier solo queue supports, is your ability to control objectives. Because of the amount of damage that's coming out of your passive, even after the little bit of a nerf that you got and how they kind of redistributed his power a bit, you're still providing a lot of damage coming out of both your passives. And overall, to go from usually what is a really low damage roll on supports on objectives to one of the highest in the game is really just a huge swing in your ability to take down things like Baron. I should have just thrown my W the second I saw. Yeah, I just know that when I have my ult up, I have so much pressure. So we're just gonna throw out my ult here because I know I'm gonna die. But we'll be able to get a lot of damage out on the enemy team. Shoot the top lane around. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have frontlined there. Grab a control board here. And how you want to look at it when you're playing Brand, most of the time, unless you're going a CDR heavy build, which is, I think, a little bit suboptimal, you want to look to really think of yourself as a shotgun. So that's why I'm going the Magic Pen boots, even though supports might traditionally look to have something that's like a mobility boots, get down the lane a little bit quicker. Just making sure that you're providing as much damage as possible is going to be the way to go with Brand. So just see if this Malphite is trying to fight at all. This guy is in prime position to gank. I just want to see if this Lily is just going to pop over on this plant and try and gank this Cassiopeia if she pushes into tower. Ideally, what Vayne and I are trying to do right now is just to split our lead. Now, all this Cassiopeia has to do is not stand next to me and we're completely fine, which is great. Whenever there's a Malphite, you always want to look to be as spread out as possible, obviously. And that is pretty big because the Malphite and Cassiopeia had the same amount of kills. Not really the same amount of farm, but just getting her that little bit more ahead is just going to help snowball her more in that solo lane. I don't know why this team hasn't surrendered because their outlook is not really too good because we have a really strong amount of scaling with me, Cassiopeia, and Vayne with an Ivern kind of as a support. Oh shit, I one-shot the backline so I can't use them for an ablaze. Oh damn. That Collie's got some fancy feet. If I had my Ignite here, he'll take a bit of damage. Yeah, we'll get a Dark Harvest proc there. I could have looked for some sort of Q. Okay, well he just dies to the passive. We're all good there. Yeah, I've just gotten to the point where I have too many resources for him to deal with me. And the ADCs are just kind of weak. This is at the end of Season 10. Worlds just ended, so... ADCs are never really the biggest kind of focus point of the game. Unless you do a comp that's particularly around them, like a Lulu comp. Or a Yumi comp. And really, again, all we're looking to do is set up traps. You just want to give yourself the best possible percentage on landing your skill shots. And how you do that is by throwing it from Fog of War. Just looking to get a big poke on her. Yep, and she's dead again. Just wanted a zoner from coming this way. And again, just looking to maximize my Frostfang in the way I get resources. So looking to push waves, keep the pressure up, take this mid tower. Now, normally you don't want to be split pushing like this as a support, but the amount of 1v1 potential I have, I could pretty much kill anyone on their team except the Malphite. I might need a couple rotations to kill the Malphite, and I don't know if I live through that. Because he has really nice base damages, and he's completely built full AP. This is just a really basic way of playing out a game. Just making sure you win through your lane, and then I went up to mid, went up to top, and spreading my lead around is really just one of the best ways you can look. And Brand is one of the simplest champions to understand. He's a little bit harder to execute with just going overall, just trying to land a bunch of skill shots on the enemy team, but I mean, you can get pretty decent at skill shots by just playing a lot of skill shot champions pretty heavily and just learning the people's tendencies in your elo that you're looking to play in. So we got 3 good gold. Gonna back off. Unfortunately, I have the support minion rule, which kind of sucks. It happens to me quite a bit when I play Bran and we're ahead, because I like to try and take as many jungle resources, as many lane resources as possible. I think I'm going to go with Banshees here, right? Yeah, let's go with Banshees here. I want to go Banshees just for the Malphite ult, and the Sona ult with the flash is really the only pressure they have on me in team fights if I stay in the backline. I could go for a Void Staff. Yeah, I actually might go for a Void Staff. I don't know. I'm kind of tanky with my base HP at this point, and they don't really have too much damage yet. It might be prudent. But just looking to get as much kill participation as possible. As you can see, I have the most in the game, and trying to spread the lead that I accrued through my overall laning phase. That's where a lot of people get in trouble. They don't really know how to transfer their lead. Like, say they win a bunch, but they're like, oh, my team feeds. And they just have no chance against a support having this many resources. As you can see, I just carried that team fight like extremely heavily, just chunking out 2 different people that they didn't really have too much recourse after they went in. I definitely played that a little bit poorly with my positioning. When I saw that the Sona came in, I could have just started walking and probably wouldn't have had the flash to get into a really good position with my R. I was just playing that a little bit safe. Yeah, but this is a pretty strong overall team comp. We don't really have a tank, so we do want to end it kind of early mid-game, because tanks really start taking over kind of in the later periods. But I do think we can take Baron very easily with my overall objective control, as well with Vayne's. We just have a shitload of PvE damage. And that's what you should be doing before pretty much every single game. You want to kind of identify what your strengths are. I guess I'm going to take this red buff because Vayne isn't taking it, whatever. I don't mind, because your attack auto attack range isn't too bad. Health regen isn't terrible. And you might as well take it because it does disappear after a while. A lot of the time, you just want to kind of stick out of vision. See if they'll engage on your squishy targets. God, I still have the support minion rule. Thought it would have gone away by now. We don't really have too much engage. Oh. Of course, that's it. Hits me. Ah, god damn it. Yeah, whatever. I didn't think the mastery was coming from that way. Definitely threw that a little bit. I wanted for them to engage and for me to come in with a flank with my ult. But that's kind of the risk you play when you are looking to flank as a support. You just don't really have the best 1v1 against obviously really strong 1v1 duelist champions. If it was another enemy like mage, I'd have been fine. Maybe a fighter. Yeah, it looks like we're just too far ahead. Our Vayne has just got really strong already on the Rage Blade from her ability to be a hyper carry and have a free laning phase is just really just an invaluable thing that Brand gives to particular ADCs. Yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. If you guys want to hit me up in the comments down below with any questions or maybe a certain support you want to see me play. This is just kind of a random game decided to record, but I wanted to do this because I think that any support player might struggle a little bit with carrying. They might feel a little bit too dependent on their ADC. This is just a great support that gives you a decent amount of self-sufficiency to carry your games. All right, guys, that'll wrap up my video, and take it easy.